Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Okay, welcome to our YouTube live. We do it every Thursday 11 a.m. Malaysian Singapore time. Right, so I'd like to welcome for those of you who are watching us on the YouTube live. Right now, I'm alone. Shida is having her horseback riding lessons. She's on the way back. So yeah, maybe I'll just start off by just sharing about a bit about our sustainable lifestyle retreat that we did recently, and then what was the reason why we actually did it. Like we actually have been there's a lot of topics now talking about sustainability, sustainable lifestyle, sustainable living, and then why is it so important, right? As you know, right, for the last 2 years we have been having like a crisis, COVID, and then in Malaysia there was floods, and I think a lot of in the other parts of the world there's also floods. So like if we were to know like offhand, right, if in the future there'll be other crisis, what we're gonna do, what how we're gonna plan for it, so then our lifestyle will be we will not compromise our lifestyle. It'll be at least cushioned, like if something happens, like for example, just give one very good example is when SARS happened, right? It was totally something very new, and a lot of like Mushida always shares a story about when SARS happened. She had her business had to close down. She had offices in Malaysia and Singapore had to close down, and she was $150,000 in debt. That kind of thing. So learning from that experience, she actually prepared, and then when I met her, we actually prepared for if anything happened in the future. And then when COVID happened, we were actually at least we were about halfway prepared. So we actually cushioned the effects. It was not so bad as SARS. We didn't have to close down our company. What we did, we just innovate, we just pivot our company to do something different. Like we actually managed to take our business 100% online in the first, I think it was about 1 month plus. We were able to take 100% online, and we did all our training, coaching online through Zoom. So that is one way that we plan, right, to have a sustainable business. And now we're going into this quarter this is the second quarter of the year, which is now is going to be not yet second quarter. It's going to be second quarter. The first quarter is January, February, March, and then the second quarter is going to be April, May, June. So this three the second quarter, we are talking more about, we're creating more awareness about sustainable lifestyle, sustainable living. And then what some of you may be asking, what is sustainable lifestyle, what's sustainable living? So maybe while waiting for Mushida to come, I'll just share a bit of our experience. We just had our sustainable retreat lifestyle in Desaru, Johor, is south of Malaysia, 26th to 29th of March. It was last week. So one of the reasons why we wanted to do the retreat, because we wanted to create awareness on the importance of having sustainability in our lives and also our business. Like wanted to create awareness. So one of the things that we did, right, because when COVID happened, we actually had a lot of time on our hand, right? I think maybe most of you, like, you were at home, you had a lot of time in your hands. So what can you do? So we started planning. Okay, we were planning like what happened if from COVID, right? We attended a lot of courses on economies, futurists, talking about the after COVID, what next after COVID. And that's what I was saying, like COVID is just the first stop. After COVID, there'll be other crises like food crisis, financial crisis. So for us, right, we were thinking, right, what can we do about it to actually at least prepare for it and then counter it. And then one of the things that came up was on having planning, right, to have our own like community, our own ecosystem, right? So we started off with our online ecosystem, which is the Live a Legacy Conscious Business Mentorship community, where we have entrepreneurs from all over the world. They actually join us. And then together we are not just making profits, but we actually doing good at the same time. What I mean by doing good is we all have a social impact. It means all of us, like for us, we do our work with refugees. We do help refugees with like, for example, they need some basic necessities, and they some really, they're in some emergency, they don't have enough to eat. Then we also help them with that kind of buying groceries. But at the same time, we were thinking long term as well, right? Just excuse me for a while, yeah. Okay, so we were for long term, right? We were thinking for the refugee, what can we do to help them long term? So then we came up with we did a lot of courses, like skill based courses, like we did baking classes before, social media marketing class, digital marketing classes. However, when we did after the every course, we did like a review, and then we see the success rate is very very low. Like they don't really achieve success. Like very small percentage actually really achieve success attending the courses. So we thought, okay, we already have our own business mentorship program. Why not we also use it to help refugees as well? So they have a more long-term support and help. So then we decided, okay, let's do that. And then I started preparing for it, find different collaborators to work together, develop the modules. Like for the normal, the entrepreneurs, the program is about the same, but for refugees it's a bit different because we have to take in consideration a lot of things like the mindset, what they've gone through, and then like we cannot push them to do things. Like if they're not ready, sometimes they are not ready to be like for technology, they're not very well versed with technology, right? So we cannot be like pushing them. We need to educate from scratch, right? It's just like a baby, like they're learning to walk. We cannot push them to run. They have to slowly learn to crawl and walk. So it's just like that. So we do that program. And then I know currently we have about 5 refugee leaders in our program, right? We actually made a commitment that we wanted to have leaders, not just normal refugees, because in our experience of doing events and program for refugees, we had last time we used to do like events every month, like 30-40 people come to the event because speakers to come in and speak about different topics, but we find that the success rate is very low. Like some people, they come, they don't really get to learn. Maybe it's a language barrier, maybe they're not focused or something like that. But we find that out of like every time 30-40 people, maybe maybe less than 1 or 2 people only actually continue the program or continue to apply whatever they have learned. So then we decided, okay, in that case, we want to find, like we were working, we developed a community model where we empower and educate leaders, we train leaders to help their community. And then like one example was we had one of our refugee leaders, Yusra from Yemen. Right now, she has been moved to Canada. She's now living there now. But before, when she was in Malaysia, she was an amazing leader. She used to do a lot of work on the ground. Her house became like a UN center where people can just come, give them food, talk to them, if they need anything. So she was like that. So then we empower. We tell her, okay, as a leader, you must do this few things. We give her a bit of guidelines, some SOPs, and then she really ran her leadership actually blossomed, and she really did a lot of amazing things. Where she was here, she got featured in a lot of media, and then even the Yemen ambassador actually came to visit her at the home because hearing about her good works. So that's the kind of leaders we create. We create leaders not just to just to do things on the ground, but we want them to have a bigger vision. What can they do with their life? What can impact they can create if they were thinking, thinking further, like they're thinking like in business stuff, it's like thinking out of the box, like instead of just doing business, making money, what can I do to create more impact? Things like that. So now she's in Canada, she's happy there, she's learning. I think she's continuing her education. Her son also is also in learning. I think continuing school again. So we are so happy for her. Right? So right now we actually focusing more on getting more mentoring more leaders here in Malaysia in our business mentorship program. So we really have 5 refugee leaders in our program, and then so far a lot of them are doing well. They're quite excited because we have done a lot. We do a lot of programs where they get to come, they get to learn about different areas of business. Like for us, we focus on 5 areas of business. First is the most important, the mindset, right? Money mindset, the attitude, and then after that we talk about communication, how to communicate to your clients, to your partners, and then we also have marketing, how to market your products and services using online and offline methods. And then we also have every entrepreneur that come into our community must have a social impact. I mean, we train them. Okay, if you want to really create a social impact, this is what you need to do. So we give them the step by step, give them suggestions like what type of business models they need to use, and then in the end, the last one is on sustainability. So this quarter, we'll be focusing. You'll be sharing us talking about sustainability because all the now like they're starting to see like certain areas in the world there's food crisis, shortages of food because during COVID, a lot of factories, a lot of industries was affected. So there is in some countries there are already food crisis. So like for us, we say okay, we must start to prepare for it. So one of the the things that we did was we actually partnered with our partners from Singapore, Nazir and Ashraf. You will be seeing them quite regularly in the next few months. We actually partnered to develop a land, a 25-acre land in Desaru, where in this land, right, if you see our Facebook and all that, you will see we've posted a lot of photos, right? We have livestock, now goats, and then we have horses there. We have a pineapple, started pineapple planting, and then we have horses, goats, pineapple planting. And then in the future, what we plan to do, me and Murshidah, we plan to have people who say, I love this idea of sustainable community on the land. I want to be part of it. I want to stay on the land. So there's also an option. Like, for example, if you want to be stay on the land, you want to say, okay, for example, you say, I'm thinking of a long term. I want to retire on the land. I want to be part of the land where I stay there, and also contribute to the land, whether it's on the organic farming or anything that you feel that is your strength, you have the knowledge to teach people in the community. You feel free to come and DM us and know about the community. Of course, in the community itself, we have certain SOPs, we have certain things that we actually we focus on, because we want to make sure that our community is not the normal, like we're not looking for people who go there to retire. Actually, the community that we built on the land is actually to create a social impact. For example, like if there's food shortages, we grow our own food and all that we have for our community. But at the same time, how can we as a community, if there are people out there that is struggling and that is suffering, what can we do as a community to help others as well? So our thinking is much bigger than just creating a community where people just stay, but it's just more than that. And then when we went to the retreat the last week, right, on the 26th, we actually, the first day we went, the day after, we actually went to our land and Desaru, and we actually see the development of the land. So it was quite amazing, because we couldn't go to the land for a few months because of the lockdown, right? So we actually went there to see the land, and then there's the horses. There's one new horse that came, So, and then we were very excited because we saw the land, the potential of the land. What can we do? And then, like, for us, our goal is, our social impact for the land is, we want to be able to employ or even get refugees and low income to work there for fair wages. Like they work there because some, like in Malaysia, because the refugees are on transit, they're not able to work legally. They have to wait for their time, and they get transferred. But sometimes, because of the COVID and all this, it takes a long time, sometimes 5 years and above. So what can they do in between? So that's why we came up with the idea of the business mentorship program online, and then they can do freelance, which that is okay. And then also in areas of agriculture, it's a bit of it's not so strict that they can go there and actually work on the land, and we give them sort of an allowance or something like that. So they actually work. They can work with dignity on the land. And if they, in the future, if they plan, okay, I want to start my own business, there is also a possibility as well. So we're looking at all angles, like how can we create an ecosystem from A to Z to make sure that like we are partnering with people who are in the circular economy expertise. Like how can we create an economy where everything can be recycled. We can recycle the economy. We can make sure that everybody has enough food, and then we make sure that, like, I'm not really expert in this area, but what I know is the circular economy is to create something that everybody that we actually make use of the resources that we have, without wasting it. And then there's a lot of other areas where we, in the next few months, we're going to be sharing you more about circular economy, sustainability. So yeah, so that, it was very exciting when we went there. We saw we were with horses, with the goats. So in the future, what we plan to do is you want to be able to do like some activities there where people can actually benefit from the activity. Like for us, in the last few months, we have been doing horseback riding, right? And then a lot of people see horseback riding. They see, sometimes some people say, it's very scary. Some people say, it's a physical activity. So like for us, right, after we actually, because horseback riding and also archery is part of our faith. Like if most of you know about Islam, right? In our faith, there is a lot of mention about horseback riding. Our Prophet, may blessings be upon him, he encouraged us to learn from young, to learn about horseback riding and archery. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's just something that is important that we need to do. So we actually did try it out, and then when we tried it, then we found out, we said, this is amazing. This is more than just physical activity. Actually, it's a very internal activity. Like it actually changes your internal self. Internally, when you go for horseback riding, and you change your confidence, your view on life, your a lot of things like around you, right? Like we are like ever since we took up horseback riding, we have seen like many miracles that happen one after another, because the energy around horses is very therapeutic. Like a lot of people do horse therapy, where like even children who are special able, when they are around horses, they are healed. Yeah, Mushida just arrived. Just let her get a bit breather. Want to drink water first. So yeah, I'm just sharing about. I was just sharing about the Desaru land, like what before it, why we're doing it, and then now I'm going to the Desaru, what we are doing there. Maybe you also can share about like some of the lessons that you have learned, like from our retreat 26
Yeah,
to
from
9.
our retreat, I would call it like a very much going back to nature retreat, right?
Yeah.
That's why we call it the sustainable lifestyle. When we talk about sustainable lifestyle, it's not just about recycling or protecting the environment. Yes, those are really important. Those are part of the way we lead a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
Our sustainable lifestyle is really going back to nature, going back to our humanity, going back to the root of what is the purpose of us being human. So one of the things that happened yesterday, I was invited to speak at the Systems Innovation Hub community in Mumbai and Singapore, and we were talking about the issue of migration and also the work that I do with refugees. And when I address that work that I do, it is a portion of what sustainable lifestyle is all about. It is all of us human beings going back to humanity. Like when we talk about inclusivity, why should we divide people based on color, race, religion, or beliefs, or how they look like, or um, you know, especially when giving them an opportunity of a life, to work, to live somewhere where it's safe, to help their children. We have in the past humans divided a lot of us, human beings based on locations, cultures, whatever they can find differences, they will build a wall. And leading a sustainable lifestyle is actually including helping others regardless. It is charity should not be separate from your work and your business. It is part of your life. You see someone in need, go and help, and reach out. Going back to nature is also part of sustainable lifestyle. That's why I'm learning about the ability of my human body, and see how my body can actually relate to horses, and the aura, the energy that I carry, and how the horses receive that is all going back to nature and what sustainable lifestyle is all about. And also the land that we have in Desaru, we are creating the education part of that sustainable lifestyle, where we are also planting vegetables,
Even
vegetation.
education, how to grow your own food
Yes,
and all this.
that is all part of humanity. In
Yeah.
fact, that's what being a human is, and we call it whatever it is in these years. Like it's sustainability and all that. It's because we have not been behaving like humans the years before,
The
right?
natural way that we're supposed to be.
Yeah,
Our
we've been
purpose.
so motorized. I would say modernized. I mean, every era of the world is modern to that part of time. We have been motorized. We are motorized. We are not using our own strengths. Like I am, me being, I'm 51 this year, and I have been told, like, when you are at 50s, you have to behave in a certain way and all that. And going on horseback riding at this age, I'm beginning to discover muscles in my own body that I never knew possible. And there's so much learning in that. And also the internal strength. And I heard Zeal say that, like, what horse riding actually brings out that bravery, that purpose, that focus, and it is so powerful. And that's why I highly encourage, why both of us are highly encouraging everyone right now to ride horses and save horses from things that they were not meant to do, like being used for things that does not serve purpose in this world, right? just for the purpose of entertainment and all that.
Yeah, before you continue, I just want to welcome Hassan for joining us. Thank you for your encouragement and then for your participation. We really appreciate very much.
Oh, Dr. Hassan,
Yeah,
amazing
thank you.
person you are. and and also one of the things that I learned during the Desaru trip was that
Yeah.
I was riding on a horse that used to be an ex-racer, and the horse, the caretaker was telling me this horse is lacking love,
Yeah.
lacking attention because
Owner couldn't visit.
couldn't visit. But it's amazing that the owner actually bought the horse and
Yeah.
rescued it from being put down.
Yeah.
So the horse is actually given a second life, a second chance at life.
Yeah.
The only thing is the horse kind of misses the owner,
Yeah.
and he kind of acts out.
Tantrum, yeah.
He wants to do his own way. He doesn't like to listen to people. He didn't want to listen to me, which is a bit scary for a new rider like me, because he wants to run on his own, and I have to control him, tell him no, not yet, not yet. He wants to run. He doesn't want to listen to me, and to show that he's stronger and all that. But it took me some time to build a relationship, even while riding him. And after we have ridden, he was starting to listen to me. He was respecting me. He was following my instructions. Like when I want him to trot, he trotted, and when I want him to slow down, he slowed down. I just didn't want him to canter, because I heard that when he canters really fast and doesn't want to stop.
He's
a racehorse. So I said, okay, hold on, just practice my cantering, and he listened to me. So after the session, I took another horse to ride in the field.
She was my horse. I was riding the horse. After that, and then I was a bit tired because after a while, I said, let Murshidah try my horse to ride inside the outside arena, which is around the lake and all this.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, what happened was the horse was the horse that I rode before, the one that was very feisty. He stopped. Before this he wanted to bite. He didn't want me to touch him. After that, he was very willing for me to stroke him, touch him,
carrots,
and receive carrots from me. And it's because of the acknowledgement. And even horses need acknowledgement and love and respect, from all of us. So imagine if
that's what sustainability is creating the ecosystem between when we respect nature, we love and respect nature, that everything must coexist. We cannot destroy the environment, cannot destroy animals. Like people, they use animals for entertainment, for racing and all this, right? Then when they cannot function anymore, then you put them to sleep. So for us, we want to create an ecosystem where everybody coexists and we respect each other.
And human beings being the best version of themselves as human beings, because that's our purpose. Our purpose in this world is to be human, right? To live this world, earth, and do amazing things that this earth is available for us, and to be able to share it with all the other humans around the world and learn about each other. And that's what being human is all about, it is not about destroying the earth, the environment, and just for the purpose of the ego. And that is also something that human beings must be aware of, because it is part of us that we are also capable of. So if you want a sustainable lifestyle, you want to lead more, you want to have more income, you want more happiness, you want more peace, you want more love, we go back to humanity. We go back to being to lead a sustainable lifestyle.
And then one of the things that we were talking about also, like discussions on, like, what if there is no technology in the future? Like technology is like something happened to the technology, and if we don't have access to all this technology, we cannot become function. So that's why we need to prepare for it. Like if we have our own land in nature, where we plant our own food, we're not reliant on technology and all this 100%. At least we have a backup, But if you are solely on technology and you're in the city, and everything goes breakdown, or something happens, something hijack the system. I don't know what happens. Sometimes, like you see in the movies, right? It can happen, right? People hijack the system and nobody can use it, and people manipulate it for the wrong reasons. So at least if we have our own community, we have our own land, we can protect each other. We grow our own food, we have our own transportation, we have our own a community that have different strength to do things. That's our long-term vision, that before all these things happen in the future, and it can be very near, So what can we do to prepare for it in the next few months or even few years, So that's what we are doing, and we are in the next few months, we want to create more awareness, right? Getting experts to talk about this topic about sustainability, about circular economy, and then people, like, for example, some people say, and for other countries, I cannot go to Malaysia to your land or that. Okay, never mind. But we create a template or like a system where you actually can learn and you can apply it in your own country. If you want to buy your own land in your own country or you have your own land, then you can apply it in your country. Use the whatever you have learned from our experts to learn, right, to apply in your own country. So we're thinking just big. We're not just thinking about saving ourselves, but we're thinking about educating other people to actually to do the same as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So we look forward to have you on this journey. And just
Yeah.
today, I had some people inquiring already, and that's why it is so powerful. You know, the sustainable lifestyle that we're leading. So with that, is there anything else you want to share with the
Do you have
people?
any upcoming programs? Okay, I want to talk about like some of our areas of business that we focus on is helping entrepreneurs not to just grow their business but to create social impact, and in the future is sustainability. So like a lot of people, right, they come into other courses, and then other courses are very good. They talk about business growth and profit, which is perfect. Okay, we talk about that as well, but we want to do more than that. We want to focus more on social impact. What can we do? Like now, there's so many chaos going into the world. There's a lot of refugees in the world. There's a lot of floods, a lot of natural disasters. And what can we do as a community to create impact versus just like doing our own thing, and then like as long as it doesn't happen to us, we continue our life as per usual. It cannot be. We cannot do that. We must be able to think, okay, what can I do to first, of course, I have to take care of myself, my family, and then my community. Then if we already have the resources, what can we do to reach out to other communities that actually need help? We are thinking more than just about ourselves. We think about humanity. Actually, all of us on this earth, we actually under humanity, we're under one. We were created by a very loving creator, and all of us deserve the right to live a dignified life. But of course, there's certain laws that you need to follow. If you don't follow the laws, of course, you have to face the consequences. But for us, we want to educate people on that, and we don't separate people by race, religion. Everybody's welcome to be part of our community, whether it's online or offline, on the land, right? But we believe in values, principles, and people who don't want to follow values and principles, then maybe they're not meant to be part of a community. But people who are willing to say values of love and respecting each other, compassion, then that will be a good fit. And then of course we will get to know you first, and then let's see if we can build a long-term relationship where we can do more, create more impact in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, thank you so much for joining
Everybody,
us
yeah.
today. And then we'll put in the link for them to
Yeah.
join our community.
Yeah.
And
We have an online community where you can join. You can put in your whatever information about yourself, your social media handles, as well as we can start posting in the group to talk more, have more discussions around this topic if you do not understand, that kind of thing. Yeah.
all right. Thank you,
Okay, thank you
everyone.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a blessed and also thank you Dr. Hassan for watching. Okay, bye.
Bye. Handsome is like phenomenon.